Does that make sense? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Get this out of the way for now. All right. Let's make this happen. Hey everybody, this is Jared Scarlata, and this is episode 34 of Thrive TV. 34, whichever one makes sense for you. And today we're going to start a core training series. There are 3 portions of the core that we're going to talk about, or 3 movements of the core that are important that we're going to talk about. Today we're going to talk about anti-extension of the core. So a brief explanation of what it is. First, let me start with some myths about core training. So a lot of people like to do crunches, Russian twists, lateral crunches, and things along those lines where you're actively moving your core to perform an exercise to hopefully get your six-pack going. Although those things may work a little bit, that's not how your core is meant to work. Also, whenever you crunch and you lateral flex and you Russian twist, you're putting torque forces and flexion forces on your spine, which may cause, probably will over time especially, cause compression injuries in your spine or other injuries in your spine from twisting and constantly flexing and extending your spine in this sort of position. So that's the reason why sit-ups and Russian twists and lateral crunches and things like that aren't necessarily good for you to do a lot of. If you like to do them sometimes, okay, but they're not necessarily good to do a lot of because they will cause back issues eventually. So the reason that we do the things that we do is because we like to train the core the way that is used in real life. So anti-extension is training your core to not let you go like this. All right, so we need to work on the interior part of our core, or the six-pack part of our core, so that it doesn't let us open up and keeps us in place here. So like if you're pushing something, all right, or someone comes against you and hits you and pushes against you, then you're not getting knocked back like this, and your core can turn on without pulling you back and pushing you backwards. So that's the purpose of anti-extension training. So we're going to go over a couple of examples here. The ultimate anti-extension exercise, one that everyone does anyway, but they may not know exactly why they do it, is the plank. So that's the ultimate anti-extension exercise. So being in a plank position, you're teaching your core to turn on so that it doesn't pull you into extension like so. All right? So we're going to go over the plank, a couple of plank variations, and then we're going to do one other exercise at the end called a kettlebell squat and press out, which teaches your core to turn on and off at certain times. Okay, so it's not necessarily just teaching your core to anti-extend, but also teaching it when to do it. All right, so we're going to start with planks first. We're going to go through 2 variations after that, and then go to our squat and press out. All right, Sharon is our demonstrator today.
Hi.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
Plank position for me, please. We'll go straight down on your elbows. So just relax for a second. Just hang out down there. Take a nap if you like. So when a lot of people plank, when most people plank, what they do is just get themselves into plank position and hang out. So just go ahead and bring yourself up and don't, just kind of hang out there. So a couple of things that can lead to. Number one is saggy hips. All right, so notice her hips are below her shoulders and below her ankles and her knees back here. So what that's doing is not letting her core activate properly. Go ahead and relax. So when your hips are sagged like that, your core is not activating and not in the position that it wants to be in, which is neutral position. All right.
And that hurt my back.
And it hurt her back. So with her hips down like that, it's compressing her back, compressing her her spine back in the back, which, like she said, is going to cause pain and maybe possibly cause injury down the road. So we want to make sure, number one, that we're neutral. So before we go over anything else, let's find out where neutral is, okay? So go ahead and bring yourself up. All right? So for neutral, for most people, it's going to feel like your butt's sticking up in the air. You always want to make sure that your hips are in line with your shoulders, so you're a straight line, a bow from your shoulders all the way down to your ankles. Nice straight line. All right, so that way we get the compression off of our back. We're not putting pressure on our back here at the bottom, and we're making our core work the way that it's supposed to work in a neutral position and not sag forward like that. Go and relax again for a sec. Okay, so the other aspect of this is understanding what is involved with your core. So most people, when you say train your core, they think just train your six-pack, right? But there is a lot more to your core than just your six-pack. So you have your obliques, these things on the side, all right? You also have your glutes, which are technically part of your core, okay? And then you also have your lats, your back muscles, which are also part of your core. All these muscles help stabilize your body. So what we want to do when we plank is turn all of those muscles on so that they know they need to be involved in this process. All right, so once we get into our position, right, so we're in neutral position, nice straight line, then we want to turn our glutes on, we want to turn our lats on, and you can do that by squeezing the ground as hard as you can, and all of a sudden you'll feel your lats turn on. All right, squeeze your core nice and tight, and now everything is on, and all of a sudden we've made this exercise kind of hard and then turned it into really hard, because now everything is on. Everything is activated that needs to be activated. Glutes are tight, core is tight, lats are on, and everything is stabilizing the way that it should. Go ahead and relax for me for a sec. All right, so you don't want to just passively plank whenever you're planking. You want to turn everything on that's supposed to be on. Now remember, your lats, your core, your glutes, all that stuff should be turned on. And the way you want to turn your lats on is grip the ground. Act like you're trying to pull grass or turf or rubber, whatever it is that you're on, trying to pull that off the ground, okay? And that's going to activate your lats and your shoulders to teach it to stabilize while you're in this process. All right, so the next one, we're going to go just up into push-up position. We're going to really quickly go over a push-up position plank, and then we're going to go into shoulder taps after that. And these are just some progressions that we use here. So go ahead and get in the push-up position for me, please. And this is just a push-up position plank, right? So it's exactly what it sounds like. Get yourself at the top of push-up position, arms nice and long. Make sure your elbows are tucked in tight. Again, that's going to help turn your lats on, which we want to be in this process. You're going to squeeze your glutes nice and tight, and you're going to squeeze your core nice and tight. Now, if I tell her to do a push-up, nothing should change except her elbow angle. Okay, go ahead and knock 5 push-ups out for me. Okay, notice she's just simply a moving plank from her shoulders down to her ankles, nice and straight. The only thing that's changing is her elbow angle. She's just pushing with her arms. Go and relax for a sec. So, translating that into actually pushing up, a lot of people have trouble keeping their hips in line when they push up. They either want their hips to be down or they want their butt sticking up in the air. Go ahead and get in push-up position for me. So a lot of people have trouble. They get in either seal position and do push-up like this, or their butts sag and they do push-ups like that. All right, again, we're talking about compression forces here, and up here, you're basically doing shoulder push-ups. All right, so we want to make sure we're nice and neutral, glutes tight, core tight, elbows in tight, okay? And then at that point, we're just changing our arm angle. Go ahead and relax for 30 seconds. So we've gone from a plank position, okay, into a push-up position. Not only will the push-up position train your anti-extenders and train that process, it's also going to help get your push-up stronger. So if you're wanting to get your push-up stronger, especially ladies, if you're wanting to get your push-up stronger, do push-up position planks and just hold for as long as you can. Properly. Hold for as long as you can properly. All right? So the next one we're going to go to are shoulder taps, and what this is going to do is add a rotational stability process to this. So you're not only holding yourself into an anti-extension position, we're also going to take one arm off at a time, which is going to teach your body to stabilize rotationally as well. So what we want to do here is go ahead and get up in push-up position for me, please. A little wider feet. So the reason we're making her feet wider than a regular push-up position is because we want to make sure that her hips stay still. So as she does this, we don't want this big sway from side to side. We want nice, stable, still hips as she's tapping her shoulders. Go ahead and do 5 on each side for me. Nice and easy. So notice her feet are wide. She's nice and stable. So as you do this, she can feel her hips moving a little bit. but visually, I don't see her hips moving as much as she feels her hips moving. All right, so she's a nice stable line from her head all the way down to her feet, nice and straight. Go ahead and relax for a sec. And she's not swaying from side to side. All right, so that's the important thing, is again not swaying from side to side. If you're swaying, then you're not stabilizing correctly the way that you should. Go ahead and get push position. Give me 3 bad ones from side to side. Get your feet a little closer. There you go. Okay. And notice, if her feet are close, then she's going to sway side to side. She can't stabilize quite as well. So get your feet out. Challenge yourself. Go ahead and relax. Get your feet out wide. Challenge yourself. Don't make it too easy and get your feet way out wide, but get your feet out wide. Make sure that you're stabilizing through your hips, and then as you get better at them, get your feet closer. All right, and make it more challenging on yourself. Like I said, the last one that we're going to do is a kettlebell squat and press out. So go ahead and grab your bell, get goblet style for me. Feet are width apart. Good. So what she's going to do is get down into her squat, down at the bottom of her squat. Okay, once she's down there, she's just going to press, pause, and then back in. And press and pause, and then back in. And press and pause, and then back in. 3 more for me. So as she's pressing, okay, her anterior core is having to turn on once it comes out. Okay, and then when she gets in, it can relax. Good, come on up for me, relax for a sec. So she's pressing, core turns on, brings it back in, core's relaxed. So it's teaching her body how to turn on and turn off as she's doing the exercise. Hi, Amy. How are you? Good. So when she extends, core turns on. When she brings back in, core turns off. Did I ever repeat myself like 5 times there?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Maybe 4.
Maybe 4? All right. That's not bad then. So go ahead and give me 3 bad ones. I want you to kind of like, when you extend, let your shoulders sag down. So when she doesn't turn on, when she presses out, and she does a bad job of this, which is good. I don't know how to do them wrong. When you extend, your core doesn't turn on, your shoulder's going to want to sag down to the floor. Good, go ahead and relax. And the other thing, you want to make sure that the weight's not too heavy, because again, if you press and it just goes straight down, then you're defeating the purpose. Obviously, you have to use your shoulders and have to use a weight relative to your shoulder strength as well. But the purpose of the exercise is to teach your core to turn on and off, and on and off when it should. Okay? So all these exercises that you can implement at any part of your workout. We like to put them in the beginning. We also put them into some of our cardio sessions here. When you put them in the beginning, if you're doing a plank, start with 15 seconds and work your way up to a minute, adding 5 seconds a week until you get up to a minute, doing it properly. Once you get that, work into your push-up position plank. Start with 15 seconds, work up to 3 sets of 1 minute, and then get your shoulder taps going, starting with 5 on each side, adding 1 a week until you get to 10 on each side. Okay? You can make these things harder or easier. Again, with your shoulder taps, you can get your feet closer together. With your planks, you can elevate your feet to make them harder, or to make them easier, you can elevate your upper body to make it easier, just like making a push-up easier or harder. And then obviously with the squat and press out, that's something you can add before or after as well. Start with a very light, moderate weight, and do slow sets of 5, adding 1 each week until you get to 10. All right? So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, shoot us a tweet on Twitter. At the Thrive Pack. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks. Break.